In today's video, what we're going to discuss is the CTC fire rating tool. I am in Revit 2020, and the reason for that is I just finished up a blog post not long ago discussing the utilization of CTC's fire rating tool and the flow or the occupant flow analyzer, and how those two tools combined can speed up life safety tasks that most architects find themselves burning a lot of time trying to complete. In Revit 2020, I think that's the year that Autodesk included the path of travel tool within Revit. And so that blog was comparing, traditional workflows to how CTC can speed that process up. I'm not going to get into the occupant flow analyzer tool. I'm not going to discuss how much time is saved with the fire rating tool either. But like I said, this is just a quick introduction to the tool and what it can accomplish. So before I repeat myself a third time, let's go find the tool. If you go to the CTC BIM project suite, you'll see the fire rating tool. And before I click on that, this is a pretty typical office building. It's a multi-story. Most of the things you see in this plan are things you'll find in an office building. So there's nothing out of the ordinary about this model. So if we open the fire rating tool, it gives the user right out of the gate a comprehensive list of all the wall types that will be found in that model. Before we dive into that, you'll see a list of buttons up top, and then you'll see 3 tabs below that. I'll mention real quick that within each one of these tools, CTC has a link to a YouTube channel that they have where they have videos, explaining in more depth than what this video is going to cover. But they explain how to use these tools and what they can be used for. But what I'm going to discuss are these tabs specifically. So in the fire ratings tab, like I said, this is a list of all the wall types. You've got basic walls, curtain walls, then you have the type name for that wall, a count number for how many instances you will find in that model, and then the most important aspect of this is the fire rating that is assigned to each wall. This is what you modify within this tool. So you'll see that we have 1 hour ratings and 2 hour ratings. If you were to change that, you would just double click on that wall, and then it prompts the user to input a fire rating. A helpful feature to this is that you have the ability to also duplicate that wall type and append the fire rating. I'm not going to do that right now, and I don't really want to modify the rating on this wall, so I'm just going to cancel out, but at least that's an option. So we have our ratings assigned to the walls. The next tab is mappings. And this is where you're telling the tool what you want to do with each rating. I did not have to input this information to make this list on this tab. This was all generated from the ratings that I assigned in the first tab. So they're already created. The detail component family, I've not found a use for this yet. I'm sure there's somebody that's probably a lot smarter and a lot more creative than me. You might be able to come up with a reason for why you would want a detail component added. I'm not going to bother with that at this point, but it is an option and it's available to the user. The line styles. Now this is where most architects and designers are, this is the type of graphic they're putting on life safety plans. I have pre-created wall or lines that have been assigned to each rating. I have a LS 1 hour rated and an LS 2 hour rated. I also have the option to put wall tags in, and I'm going to use my 2 favorite wall tags. I've not had a lot of good luck with these when it comes to code reviewers. They seem to kick my drawings back because of these wall tags. I don't know why, but that's the case. But you'll see those once we get it all mapped and the graphics are set. Speaking of graphics, we'll go to the third tab. This is where you select which plans or views you want the graphics to be applied. In this instance, I have an O1 code plan, an O2 code plan, and an O3 code plan. The next set of settings, you have the option of spacing and how far you want the wall tags to be adjacent to one another. You also have an in spacing, a minimum in spacing setting. And this is how far do you want the last wall tag to be offset from the ends of your wall. There's also an orientation. You have a strictly horizontal orientation, strictly vertical. I like using the wall orientation. Lastly, it also gives you an option to apply these same settings to linked projects. So you see we have a structural, mechanical, electrical, and an architectural site. I'm not going to mess with that at this point. I just want to apply the graphics. So you go up top and you generate graphics, and then automatically you can see how they've been applied. Now for the 1 hour, I like the stop, drop, and roll wall tag. And for the 2 hour, it's not showing up. Oh, here we go. Now, I don't know why code reviewers don't like these, but they don't. And it just is what it is. One of these days they'll approve it and I'll be a happy man. But until then, I have to go with more traditional wall tags. So if you feel the need to change them, oftentimes what you have to do is remove the graphics, go back to the mappings. And this is the beautiful thing about the ratings tool, is it's so easy to change a lot of this information if you have to. Go back to graphics, generate graphics, and then you've got the boring, typical wall tags that will not get you in trouble with code reviewers. So now that those are in there, you can see that because I specified different plans and views, the O2 code plan now has those graphics, and the O3 code plan now has those graphics. So it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. There's not a lot to it. If anything, I would say the hardest part about this tool is if you're a beginner user and you're just learning the interface, that's probably the hardest part about this thing. So that's why we created the video. Hopefully that gives somebody some insight and valuable information on how to use this tool. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of the other content on our channel.